YouTube? This is Dr. Wanda, and I'm in the office of Michael Tetteh. This is our herbal doctor, our specialist. I'm actually in his office. Let me show you. This is so you can see from the messy table, and even the medical table. This is where our good doctor actually works. So the name of this hospital is Tema General Hospital. And I told him this is the 4th hospital in Ghana that I visited. I've been to Bator, I've been to Maritime, I've been to Port, and I visited the Home Polyclinic. Say home again. Home Polyclinic. And so now I'm here at his hospital. So I say hello.
Hi.
And so we have some good questions. I want to follow up with him about some of the stuff that we talked about in terms of cancer and the health fair and all that good stuff.
Yes.
All right, doctor, how have you been?
I've been very well.
Okay, well, talk to me. What did you think when you first got some of the questions that came to you or comments that came to you?
I was very happy that people were really following and listening.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's also gave me the joy.
It gave you joy.
Yes. At least others are also getting to learn from our interaction or our last meeting.
Yeah. Well, there was one woman in particular that she also had a form of cancer that's aggressive. She believes her cancer is very similar to Howard's cancer. And you had talked to me about the fact that meat had one of the ways to heal was to remove meat from the diet. And I asked you, was it okay to keep fish? And you said, yeah, fish. Okay, so she kind of had some thoughts around that, which in her case, she said even the fish, even that protein, that animal protein still aggravates the situation.
Okay, for fishes, it's known that they contain omega-3.
Okay.
Omega-3 fatty acids, and they have been known, or research has proven that they have anti-proliferative effects. That is, they are able to fight against cancer cells.
Okay.
Yes. So with fish, especially fishes from the sea, they would help in the dieting of cancerous patients.
So it's not that the protein doesn't affect; it's that the fish has something in it that actually fight against the cancer cells.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Okay, is that with everybody, or you see? In the research they saw that with generally everybody, or are there exceptions to that?
It's everybody, unless you are allergic to a particular kind of fish.
Okay.
But fishes that are high in omega-3 fatty acids are generally good in fighting against cancer cells.
Even when they're rogue, even when they're running crazy in the body?
When the cancer is...
When it's active?
Yes.
So this is not just about prevention, this is also about...
Curative. But,
oh, wow.
The amount of omega-3 you are taking in can't necessarily assure you. In cancer treatment, it's a holistic treatment.
Okay.
So your diet is one aspect of it. So in terms of dieting, in terms of what you are eating, it also counts.
Okay.
So in that aspect, you're saying that you try to stay away from meat.
Meat. Any kind of meat, yeah.
Any kind of meat. And for some dietitians, they would say stay away from total animal protein.
Okay.
But I advocate for proteins or fishes from the sea because of the omega-3 fatty acids.
So we're talking about salmon, we're talking about tuna. Is there a fish that you say leave alone?
With all of them, not all the fishes that have omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay.
It is not all fishes. But the ones that have, I can't mention all of them offhand now. Okay. But if you do a search, you would surely find out that there are some.
Okay, so omega-3 fatty acids are our friends in this cancer battle.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, we had some questions about stroke. and healing from stroke, and what sort of dietary things that can be put in naturally that would help with that. We're kind of preventing further strokes.
So currently, if we talk about stroke, if we look at what brings about stroke, one of the things that enhances stroke is when you have so much of fatty tissues in your blood vessels.
Okay.
So we call it atherosclerosis. So what happens is that if you have a lot of fatty tissues or bad cholesterol in the bloodstream, they get locked into the blood vessels. Hence, the channel in which the blood passes through is reduced. The lumen of the vessels are reduced, and that will in turn increase blood pressure. So in increasing the blood pressure, as blood pressure increases, then the heart would then require more force, yes, to be able to pump blood into the various organs of the body. In doing that, there is a tendency that the clots or the atherosclerosis that are being formed in the blood vessels are going to be dislodged.
Okay.
And then they are going to be as an emboli within the bloodstream. And if it gets access into the brain, that is where you can have an infarctive.
So you say
stroke.
that material breaks off and just can float?
Exactly.
And then it can float into a place that it
blood
should
vessels,
not be.
exactly.
Oh,
so
now,
the blood vessels into the brain, and in there, when they get locked into smaller vessels called microvessels,
okay.
then you would have it brings about one type of stroke we call infarctive stroke.
Okay. Infarctive stroke.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so if I have a history of strokes that run in my family, if I want to prevent that, if I want to structure my diet where that history is less likely to affect me, what are some things I can put in the diet that would help that material go out, not go into the microvessels?
Generally, you then have to reduce the intake of high cholesterol diets or high foods that are high in fats.
Like?
So we can have there are some oils that have high cholesterol levels.
Like?
You can
you know who you're dealing with.
Yes, there are some examples that
is coconut oil good for me? Lots of people are doing coconut oil.
Coconut oil is very, very
good. Is canola, because they was pushing canola real heavy in the States at one point. But I've heard some iffy things about canola. Is canola safe for me if I'm potentially a stroke person?
I think we have canola here, so I'm not really familiar.
You do, but it's not a popular oil.
Okay.
I see you all with more sunflower.
Exactly.
I see you with red palm oil.
Exactly.
And black kernel oil.
Exactly.
Okay.
So with palm oil, it's good, but too much of it's bad.
Why?
Too much of it is bad.
You know why I ask him why? Because we look at the palm kernel, it's coming, it's fresh, it's coming from the tree. You all are processing it, like you make a special soup with it. It's in a lot of what you do.
Exactly.
So when does it become a problem?
Become the problem if it's too much, because it also contains some amount of cholesterol that's healthy of the bad cholesterol.
Okay.
But the amount is quite reduced compared to other oils we use around here.
Okay, what's the other oil? The doctor don't like to be specific, but I'm gonna hammer him. What's the other oil that you give me? An oil that has cholesterol in it?
Quite a number of.
Name one.
I'm not really familiar with that. I'm not really familiar with them because I hardly.
You hardly eat them.
Exactly.
You don't
so
cook.
all that exactly. Mm-hmm. So what I rather do is I give options to my patients.
Okay. So for example, the coconut oil is one.
Coconut oil is one. Then sunflower oil is one.
Okay.
They are one of the commonest oil you find around. That's the good oils that you find.
Do you
around.
like olive oil?
I like olive oil.
Okay.
Olive oil itself also has very low amount of bad cholesterol
Okay.
Generally, olive all over the world is one of the best oils you can also have.
Let me ask you this because we're talking about cholesterol. What about that egg? Isn't that egg an issue for cholesterol as well?
Yes, egg too there's been a debate about it with various dietitians
Okay.
about egg and the amount of egg they're supposed to take in a day and all that. But there hasn't been any conclusion towards that.
Okay, because
but what
Ghanaians
other
eat a lot of
dietitians,
eggs.
yes, talk about is the fact that the yolk contains a lot of cholesterol, but I haven't found a lot of research to back that ideology.
And I noticed that your yolk compared to a U.S. egg is thin, and that your egg tends to have a little bit more water component to it. I don't know why, but it does.
It's that would I would say the breed where it's coming from, the birds
Okay.
that breeds
Okay.
that brings the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I would like to actually talk about coconut oil. Quite a number of people don't like using coconut oil, but
It has
I
a bad
can bet
taste.
you. But the truth is that it is best for you.
Why?
Very best, because it has been proven to help even in hypertensives.
Even when you have hypertension, it helps you.
Exactly.
So you're saying it helps lower your blood pressure?
Exactly.
Oh, so it's preventative.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't build up that cholesterol,
Not at
but then
all.
it actually can alleviate
Exactly.
high blood pressure. How so? And should I spoon, like, how am I taking it? Am I taking a couple of spoons? Am I making sure that I cook with it?
Well,
How is it?
you can cook with it. You can mix it with your salads
Okay.
and other stuffs. It's generally good.
Okay.
But in every kind of food, you'd always have to mind the quantity. That's general.
Okay, so we're still dealing with all things in moderation.
Exactly.
All things in moderation. All right, we talked about cancer, we talked about hypertension. What's another one that I'm trying to think of some other questions that came in. People actually wanted some herbs. They wanted your favorite. Like if you had to pick your top 3 favorite herbs that you felt kind of helped in multiple ways. You know how some of them help
Exactly.
with, yeah, they do more than one thing.
Yes.
Give me your top 3.
I'll take dandelion.
Dandelion.
Yes.
Okay, and these are the ones that's just wild, right? Does it matter as long as they haven't been sprayed with pesticides?
No, it matters.
Okay.
It matters. Where you get your herbs from also matters. If someone is to get the herb from the roadside, it's the constituents in there are quite different from the same herb being taken from the forest.
Why?
Or from a garden. Because the environment, if you have plants, the amount of sun, light, the amount of water, the toxins around also count. So that if you have a herb which is being grown in the city where you have a lot of fumes, you're going to have a lot of toxic cyanides all being on the sprayed or gets onto the herb.
Okay, you can't keep collecting a dandelion by the side of the road.
I wouldn't advise that.
And we've been eating it.
I wouldn't advise that. So if you want it, it should be in a garden setting, a place that is quite fresh. So if you have a home garden, you can grow it there where you can monitor its growth and the amount of toxins that comes around. So
make good sense.
Exactly.
Make good sense. Yeah.
So that's one of the herbs.
But for people that feel like, okay, yes, I found this by the side of the road, I brought it in and I cleaned it. You know, I have a method to clean it. Do you feel like that's better to do that than not to have it at all? Or you still believe like, you know what, that environment was so bad, just leave it?
Exactly. That environment was so bad. So I would advise that the person leaves it.
Okay.
Because talking about toxins, they all have a role. If you look at the growth process or metabolism of plants, it has a chemical component in it we cannot see. But if I take dandelion, maybe dandelion is to produce a particular metabolite. It has to go through a process. Now, if you have toxins from the environment, they find a way to get into the plant.
Because toxins are tough.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Through the pores. If I have a plant, there are pores around the leaves, pores around the stems, even the soil. So that if I grow a dandelion seed in a toxic soil, compared to growing a dandelion seed in a garden soil, the rate at which they will grow will be different. Because the nutrients coming from the ground, the soil, varies. Hence, the quality of medicinal components in them is also going to vary. So that is why we advise that herbs should be grown well at a place where you have a lot of moisture, at a place where you have a lot of sunlight, you have a lot of natural fertilizer, not pesticides and all that. Exactly.
You know, he makes good sense that we have to actually care about, much like with our own children, where we're growing this food, where we're planting these seeds at. Okay, so dandelion, what's your second favorite herb that you feel like does a lot for the body?
I would go for garlic.
Garlic?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about garlic. Why garlic?
Okay,
and I eat lots of that.
Garlic has, I've actually worked with garlic and researched on the component, one aspect of garlic, and I have found out that it has 1 million uses. Yes. And the use of garlic has been from ancient, before 4,000 years ago.
You know what I know it as? I know it as the Russian penicillin. That before they discovered penicillin, they was using a lot of garlic.
Exactly. So even before the start of modern civilization, garlic has been in use.
Okay.
They use it as mostly as spice. But over the years, it has proven to have a lot of properties. Garlic has proven to contain what we call allicin. And allicin is a metabolite in garlic. And allicin has been proven to help against cancer cells.
Okay.
Allicin has been proven to help with reducing blood pressure. It has broad spectrum antimicrobial properties. It also has antifungal properties. It has also have some amount of in combination with other diabetic drugs, it aids in reducing blood sugars. So if you look
help
at
with diabetes a little bit.
Exactly. So if you take garlic has a lot of uses. That is why it is. If you go to the Asian regions, they really like it a lot.
They eat a lot of garlic and they eat a lot of onion in combination. Yeah, they do. And they're not known for strokes, though. That's a group that doesn't really get a lot of strokes.
Yes. So it also contains what we call nitric oxide. Quite a good amount of nitric oxide in there.
Nitric oxide.
And that's in the blood also dilates the blood vessels.
Also helps them open up.
Exactly. Blood dilation. And when your blood vessels are opening up, it means that you're going to have less pressure. Hence, it helps in blood pressure.
So that explains why that summer when I was here, I had the garlic bitters. I drank Percocet water, but I also had the garlic bitters, and my blood pressure dropped like a lot. It dropped a lot.
That's the magic with garlic. If I'm going to mention the uses of garlic, I'm virtually going to mention almost everything.
Okay.
Yes. It helps in wound infections, in generalized infections, in recurrent infections. Garlic really helps a lot.
Okay. It helps. Dandelion, garlic. Give me your favorite.
So my third favorite. Where should I go? I would like to move for one herb in Ghana. It's local to the West African region.
Okay.
That's Cryptolepis sanguinolenta.
Oh, he's doing too much.
It's called Cryptolepis.
Cryptolepis.
Yes. In Africa, it's endemic to Africa.
Okay.
And we haven't really done a lot of work.
What does it look like? Because I can't even see it in my head. Do you have one here, or is it a plant? It's
a plant.
Okay. What does it look like?
It's kind of a shrub.
Okay.
It's a shrub.
Okay.
About it grows to about 5 feet, 4 to 6. Let's say 4 to 6 feet tall.
Okay.
The leaves are quite oval. Yes.
Well, tell me. Okay, now that's the botanical name. Do you all have a local name that you call this herb? Because I know the market
Yes.
women are not calling that herb that.
Yes, we have. I don't have it off air, but I can just quickly, let me quickly glance.
Thank the Lord.
One.
We need to know the.
Yes. So there's a Ghanaian herbal pharmacopoeia.
Look, they got a
So
Ghanaian.
yeah, so Cryptolepis 13.
13.
That's number 13. So I'm just going to go to number 13 to talk about Cryptolepis.
They got their own little book.
Yeah. So these are powerful herbs which have been proven pharmacologically.
You've been keeping secrets from me, doctor. Why you ain't suggest I get this book? Look at the doctor, not helping the doctor. And it's got pictures.
Yeah. Okay, so Cryptolepis, and in P, that's what they call Nibima.
Nibima?
Yes.
That's in tree.
Yes.
Okay, Airways called it.
The Airways call it Kaje.
Kaje?
Kaje.
Hausa calls it?
I think that should be Gangamo.
Gangamo.
Yes.
Trying to show them this word so they can just see
Okay,
it.
so that's the tree name, that's Cryptolepis. I'd love to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have a picture there?
Yes, but it's not a colored. Yes,
it's not colored, but that's Cryptolepis,
exactly.
y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about this wonderful herb that's endemic to West Africa.
Yes, so Cryptolepis is generally known in let me also say that when in its powdered form, the root, the stem, in its powdered form is yellowish. Yeah, it's quite yellowish. In West African region, it's more known for its anti-malaria properties.
Okay.
But with resurgence or the increase in research, it has been proven, aside its anti-malaria properties, to have other effects, have antioxidant effects. It has anti-proliferative effects, that is fighting against cancer cells.
Okay, so it keeps you looking young, antioxidants, keep us looking young. Okay, and then you said it has anti-cancer.
Yes, antioxidants is not equal to anti-aging.
Although they do affect it.
Yes, so though most anti-aging products are as a result of their antioxidant effect.
I got you.
But they are not.
It's not necessarily
the same.
Synonymous.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for Cryptolepis, like I was actually talking about its anti-malaria properties.
Okay.
Actually, Cryptolepis have been proven to have equal anti-malaria property as compared to quinine.
Okay.
Cinchona.
Okay.
Cinchona is more endemic to the Asian regions.
Okay.
And over the years, that is where they've had most anti-malaria drugs from. That's quinine, it's artemisinin, all those are from one plant.
Okay.
Now, Cryptolepis has been proven to have virtually equal or even greater antiplasmodic effects than quinine. But in Africa, we've not really gone ahead to research more into it.
Okay,
recently,
when you say antiplasmodic, you're talking about the blood.
No, that's malaria. The parasite that causes malaria infection.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm actually talking about.
You know you use big words, don't you? And you know they're not going to understand all them terms, right?
Sorry.
So you got to slow it down and then just give us a little bit of lay language.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're a doctor.
I'm going to go by that. Yes. So I was talking about Cryptolepis, and in Africa here, it's one of our star herbs.
Okay.
And the surge of the COVID-19, one of the plant medicines that's made waves is actually Cryptolepis. That is Nibima, locally called Nibima.
That's what's in the bottle that we talked about.
Exactly.
That got isolated.
Yeah.
For
anti-malaria properties. And it's quite powerful. Recently in Ghana, I think I spoke about it in a previous interview, that there's been more research to prove that it can be developed as for hepatitis B.
Hepatitis B, and there was something else that helped there. It was COVID. It was COVID,
yes,
but it was supposed to just simply be malaria.
Exactly. So that would be my third plant because
Let me see
it's
this
some.
picture of you.
Okay.
It's a little inconspicuous plant,
Yeah.
but the stem and the leaf all are powerful.
Exactly.
Okay.
Both
Wow.
together are very, very powerful. If you look at some studies on it from this book, it will tell you that it's well, quite a lot of things: antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, anti-malarial, hypoglycemic, and hypotensive. So it also helps with pressure, helps with diabetes.
So we got diabetes, COVID, high blood pressure, hepatitis B. This is
generally viral infection.
and so I can have this in liquid form and in powder form. That's correct. I want y'all to see this book that the doctor didn't even bother to tell me about. It's called Ghana Herbal
Pharmacopoeia. Yes. So it's a combination or all powerful herbs that have been researched upon.
Okay.
That have been proven to
That
have
there is some
medicinal
research.
properties. Yes. So it's been combined into this. So it's more or less like the herbalist in Ghana. That's their kind of Bible.
Okay, it's their Bible. And is this what they're using out in Mampang?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Yes. Most research institutions and academic institutions.
You know, this is ultra impressive to me that you have this book.
Wow.
Because I always call Ghana the Garden of Eden.
Wow.
In terms of herbs, that's what I feel like. I've been to Uganda, I've been to Tanzania, I've been to South Africa. Uganda, their fruit. It is a fruit bowl. But in terms of just this impactfulness of herbs, you guys got it. So the only reason I'm cutting this interview short is because my phone gave me a signal that it is running out of battery. So we got to have another date. We're going to see how you guys respond to this interview. I also want you to spend some time, look for this book, and then I also want you to invest some research because anybody taking care of themselves should also look for things that heal them. And this is your third favorite herb. Say the herb again, doctor. Cryptolepis. Okay, so dandelion, not off the street. Garlic, any way you can get it, how much you can get it. You can never get too much of it. And then cryptolepis. And what else do we want to say before we close out?
Okay, so since we'll be having quite other ones, if people want to know more about how herbs in Ghana can help with various diseases, they can actually ask. I think our viewers can ask more questions and
send her more questions.
Yes, so that in our next videos we can talk about more interesting herbs and what we can do.
Okay. He wants to talk about more interesting herbs. I like to talk about what's ailing people and then match the herbs to those issues. So give both doctors what they want.
Exactly.
All right, I'm Dr. Wanda and I'm signing off. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.